Hey there.
Hey there.
Hey there. Welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits, coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California.
USA.
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 That's right. Hey everyone, this is Liza, and I caught up on all my sleep, and I'm getting ahead on all the sleep I'm going to miss coming up next month.
Oh, that's right.
Good.
You're going on your travails
as
well,
I
aren't
slept
you?
good and hard. I did nothing yesterday. Nothing.
Wow.
Yes, but eat and watch TV and rest.
Okay.
Getting.
What did you watch
Putting
on
some
TV?
in the
What did you watch
bag.
on
Putting some in the
TV?
bag.
Anything fun?
I'm rewatching shows on Netflix that I really like. That's all.
All right.
And hopefully he's rested now. Well, I think he expelled quite a lot of energy today working on the DRZ. It's a Stumpy John.
Man, I am rode hard and put away wet.
You expelled a certain amount of something working on the DRZ today.
Man, God bless used motorcycles.
Well, we'll get to the DRZ saga. On the Classic Girl couch tonight in leather leggings,
Leather and lace.
it's Miss Emma.
Aloha, darlings.
Hello.
And that is not including my rubberized underwear. So I'm in leather and rubber.
That's what that squeaky noise was.
Yes. No, that's not. The squeaky noise was something else.
You know, when you're wearing leather and rubber, it makes it hard to do a groin check.
Ah,
Oh,
that, yeah.
yeah.
No, we should point out that we had a first aid lesson today with the groin check included.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We did. That's right.
We'll get to that.
That's right. Henry's no less.
Henry's got quite the groin.
Oh, God.
I love how Jonathan just went for it. Also on the Classy Girl couch tonight, joining us for the first time, and I think you're still a little bit like, what is this place? It's AJ.
Hey, how you doing? This is my first time in the Motorcycles and Misfits garage, and I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, what a voice.
AJ with the sexy voice, baby.
No, he's got the sexiest
I'm getting
voice.
squeaky now.
Are you really? I sincerely hope you are wearing your rubberized underwear. Johnny!
I'm a little sad I missed the groin check earlier.
Oh, it's thrilling.
Oh, we can arrange something. I'm punchy from that DRZ. Sorry, y'all.
Oh my word! And one of our now regular stunt misfits. It's Scott.
Hello, good evening. And AJ has me to blame for dragging him in on this, but he's got a great story to tell tonight about some international travels.
Right, because you two are riding buddies out east, aren't you?
For 10-something years, yeah.
Okay.
We've got an annual May ride up in the Smokies.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So also joining us,
Yes.
is everybody's favorite ginger. It's Bagel.
I have inhaled copious quantities of dust and two-stroke smoke this weekend. I went camping on a camping rally.
Oh, fun.
Excellent.
And we all know that scooters are crazy partiers.
Nobody rides a motorcycle now. Look, I can see it behind him.
Well, I'm not riding it yet.
Well, okay, but you own it, so that's half
I
the
own
battle
it.
won.
Yes.
And then we have an audience member who's here just to
The peanut gallery.
yeah, he's auditing us.
Yep.
Yeah, we got Anthony
Good way.
here.
And I got dragged along by AJ.
Yeah, he's also like, why am I here? Yeah.
I know nothing about this stuff.
That's quite okay. I think you'll have some fun with this. So Bagel, wish you were here. We did a cool thing today.
Oh, yeah? What was that?
We had a biker first aid class. And
cool.
I think this will be the first of many.
Yeah, no, I suspect
Excellent.
so, because it covers such a broad spectrum, and we just got a taste of it. Is Jonathan, who's been coming fairly regularly.
Yeah.
We found out he is a paramedic for
Army.
the Army. So, I mean, he's the real deal.
He does like search and rescue
No, he jumps
and
out.
drop
He's
him out of a
he's
helicopter.
He's an Air
kinda.
Force rescue parajumper.
Right, so
The baddest ass of the baddest asses.
running, jumping, action, jumping out, real James Bond stuff. And he said, look, we'll do a basic first aid course, so if you are on a run and one of your buddies goes down in front of you, what should you do? Well, I mean, that's like Pandora's box. but we kind of broached the surface and it was a great introduction to it, but hopefully he's going to do a few more.
Yeah, what we discovered is there really isn't enough time to cover all the different types of writing techniques. For instance, if the writer down is conscious or unconscious, you've got two different paths to take. If they're in a on a city street versus up on a mountain,
right?
Again, different paths to take. And
then we talked about tourniquets, and everyone enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the groin check.
The groin check is an important check.
This is something that I learned. So I just wanted to kind of recap some of the basics, because I've been on too many scenes where there's a lot of people standing around doing nothing but being in the way, and they don't know what to do, and oftentimes they'll create a worse situation by, oftentimes in a group, people will just get off their bikes and leave it in the street, and make more of a problem. So first thing is, we said secure the scene. The most important thing is secure the scene. Before you go to the rider, is secure the scene, make sure road is clear and that there are people on the street at each end securing it, so that there's no one going to be coming along in a car. No more victims. Yeah. Exactly. Then you get to the victim.
And there are so many different scenarios. And actually, Liza, before we get into this, John came up with a very, very good point. And he said, look, we're going to be looking for content while you're away doing your travels. So I am thinking we might actually persuade Jonathan himself, because he's got a lovely voice, to come in here and actually talk about these various scenarios.
Well, we have to do it again because Naked Jim wasn't able to be here, but he's here now.
Hey, I'm alive. Hey. I exist, to quote the great Zach. What's happening? Viva Las Vegas.
So we're just starting a recap of our training today. And the one thing I learned that I've never thought to do is, he said you do a body check. You sweep your hand down each limb of the person and to feel, because there might be blood pooling through their gear. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of wipe your hands down their whole body and then check your hands.
Yeah, I'm bummed I missed it, but I bet a lot of things kind of pop up. And when you lay hands on things,
well, I had my
notice.
hands all over Henry, and there was
good
fluid.
Lord, woman! I've been here for 2 minutes, and here we go.
There was fluid.
Was it pooling?
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, Jim, we had Henry laying out on the ground because he was your test dummy? Who's most likely to be the victim?
Did we blow him up with the vest too, or is that Charlie?
So Jonathan is doing the sweep of each limb, and then he goes groin check, and he just swipes up the groin.
I don't know why he did it 6 times though.
Oh, that was interesting.
But the thing is, anywhere there's basically an orifice in your body, there's potential for blood to come out of it, and it's always bad.
Oh, I just got back from Vegas, baby. I'm telling you. So you've had things coming out of
orifice bleeding through.
These are very, very valid checks, and each one you do in a specific order, and it's whether the person is conscious or not and what you're checking for. And it was a very, very comprehensive check. It's very informative, and I would love to devote really either a whole show or part of a show.
Yeah, I had tons of questions. So
Well, the other thing I learned, I asked him, all right, if somebody's limb is bent at an awkward angle, do you straighten it? And the answer is no.
Right. I thought you were going to be like, do you point and laugh at it? Because that's normally what you would do.
No.
Take a picture.
Take a picture. Totally.
Post it on the web.
The answer is no, and here's what I was reminded. Our job as untrained medics is to keep the person alive until they can get proper medical attention.
Right.
So you don't want to do any other unnecessary movements unless it's something that, in the case where he said, if you don't want to take their helmet off or move them, but if they're not breathing, take the helmet off, even though you may snap the neck, but they can't breathe, they're going to die. So it's a lesser of two evils. Or if they have blood gushing, put the tourniquet on. Yep. Well, isn't that bad for the limbs? Yes, but it's better than bleeding out.
And it's the same if their mouth is full of blood, vomit, whatever, and they're unconscious, if you leave them lying on their back, they're going to basically drown. So you turn them on their side so you can drain the mouth out and get your fingers and get all these obstructions out of their throat. But that's job number one is just keep them alive until professional help can get there. So, we're not setting limbs or anything.
I'm definitely going to buy a tourniquet because I don't have one in my gear, and I need to have one.
It's funny because one thing I wanted ask some questions about was wildland stuff, like what are the likely scenarios you're going to run into it? Is it bleeding? Is it broken bones? I can guess at it, but
I asked him. I said on our next one, I would like to do. How do I get off the mountain? Yeah. That kind of thing
you hit that SOS button if you're stuck.
That's exactly right.
But there's one thing: if you're on a city street, you leave them lying there. If you're up a mountain with no phone reception, what do you do? Like we talked about, there's a video I've seen of a guy who was dirt biking, and he hit a branch, and the stick went through his boot into his shin.
I think I saw that.
And it's like, don't pull it out because now you got to get off the mountain. So you kind of break it off and tape it in so it doesn't move.
Well, I think we all know that rule. Don't take off the boot and don't take off the glove.
Well,
just
that
keep
was
that
another
shit
thing.
on until you get out of here.
That was another thing we talked about. If you're up the mountain, don't take off the boot.
Don't ever
but if
take
you're
off the
down the
boot.
mountain,
No.
if you're in the street, take off the boot.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, there's going to be different criteria. And I think one of the other really helpful things that John got to demo is the method to, if you have to pick somebody up and move them, say they're in a dangerous spot. Say you're the only person there and you're in the turn of a road. You want to try and describe the technique, John? Because you successfully did it.
And he's a big fella, too.
He's like 230-something.
Yeah. So you what I did is I kneeled behind him. He laid back against my chest.
Well, you start with their head on the ground.
Right.
Between
you got to
your
sort
knees.
of try to lift him up, but support the head at the same time so you have the least amount of spinal cord issues.
You're skipping. Let me do this. All right. You kneel down with their head between your knees. Slide your hands underneath the shoulder blades. Lift the shoulder blades up slightly and scoot your knees up under. Your knees are the wedge. As you continue to slide your hands in and lift them up, and you slide forward so that your knees are becoming a wedge until you have them almost into a sitting position. Now you reach your hands
up
underneath their armpits and grab each of their wrists that are across their chest.
Okay.
And now you can stand up.
Basically
you go to a
squat
squatting
up.
position, stand up and drag them off of the road.
I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it, but it worked.
Yeah, that's all good info.
Yeah.
Wow.
So really helpful. Some other stuff is, I have a pack that I bought, a med pack. And what I learned is mine is a blood control pack. So he said there's blood loss packs and there's fix the boo-boo packs, right? Mine is just blood loss. So it's got the tourniquets, it's got the gauze, it's got the scissors to cut the clothes off, it's all that. It's
the blood clotting shit.
It's the keep them alive until they get there.
Yeah.
So here's where I got some helpful information. And fortunately, I just got all this info last weekend from the WEMA rally in Custer, South Dakota. And what I have here this is a brochure for motorcycle trauma packs. And this is a company. It's called CPR-1STFirstAid.com. CPR-1STAid.com. And they have all different types of some assembled kits that you can buy that start at $25 for a basic blood.
You know what I like about that? Not only can you buy like a pick a pack that works for you, but I've used those before because I've kind of built my own over time. It's a big Ziploc bag, but it's kind of all the stuff I've figured out I think is good. But you can use that as a reference to figure out what might be good for you, and then just pick and choose from the items and build your own.
And it says that these packs were developed to complement bystander assistance training by accident scene management road guardians.
Cool.
So it is made for people who aren't highly trained to have helpful things. So I recommend this. It's pretty cool. It's like $25, $46, $80 for the whole.
Oh,
thing.
and there's a mega one on the back page for
$149.
And everything comes with illustrated instrucciones.
But here's another thing he said. So I had my brand new pack, and we were doing the demo. So I pulled out my tourniquet, which was shrink wrapped in plastic, and I undid it. He goes, "That right there, you need to go into your first aid kits and unpack the things because everything is all sealed up to make it nice and pretty. Because before you go out, unpack it because that's time."
Slow you
Well,
down.
and hand in hand with that, with a tourniquet, for example, if you're using a CAT tourniquet, they're pretty simple, but if you've never done it once or twice or 10 times, they can be a little tricky to they're incredibly effective. They're combat tourniquets. Jake told me to get one.
He brought a stack of them and let everyone
Did he?
play
Yeah,
with
because
them.
you got to practice with that. Because if you're under pressure and there's blood, if you're using a tourniquet, things are bad. So it's an unpack it and practice using those things, just like everything else.
And then here's another helpful thing that I got at the rally. They don't have it here in California, but they're all across the United States. It's called Road Guardians, roadguardians.org. And these are classes you can take to, like what we did today. They got crash course for motorcycles, basic blended learning, advanced bystander. They got all these anatomy of a motorcycle crash, all these different classes. And they have cities all over the country with classes going on that you can register for. You want to check it out?
Yeah, Road Guardians spoke at my motorcycle Rotary meeting.
What
too.
a cool thing. Yeah. So I recommend going to roadguardians.org and see if there's something near you that you can take one of these classes. We're gonna do more of these.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, definitely. And I learned stuff today that was helpful, but I'm reminded my job is to keep them alive.
Mm-hmm. And you alive.
Because I'm like, should I carry a
both
drill
alive.
so I can do burr holes if they have a head injury?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He
They
said
make a small little hand one.
He said he'd bring me one.
No, and I mean, you could carry spare component parts. And I mean, nobody's expecting you to carry anything large on a bike, but you could have like an eyeball or a finger or something, and just keep
A
it in,
saline
like,
IV pack is what I want.
Do they have like a venture enema you could bring?
Oh, John.
Venture enema.
Oh, John. Well,
only if it's ice
I think they had it at that buffet in Vegas. We were at.
For the type of riding that we're doing, I mean, we're not needing big kits. It's really keep them alive. Mm-hmm. And I think it's responsible as a biker to have a kit like that. But if you're going to be doing like a big adventure ride, go someplace crazy like Iceland or something, if you don't have medics with you, I think this is definitely the must-have to be able to have people who know how to do stuff like that.
What did you say, an adventure ride in Iceland?
You just put ice on it. You just put ice on it.
Who the hell does such a thing?
If you're going to do a big adventure like that, if you don't have training, you need to bring medics. Hey, AJ, do you have any training and stuff like this?
Not anymore. For a time, I was certified EMT basic.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
But let's see. If you're doing a big trip, say like in Iceland, would you bring kits or would you just bring medics with you?
Depends on the size. For that size of group, let's go with bring the medics.
Yeah, there you go. That's an even better idea, is bring the medics. In fact, you just did this really cool trip to Iceland. Now, okay, Jim, you're going to be getting excited. I didn't even tell you all the stuff once I started deep diving on this. And I stopped him in some of the stories so that I could
better than pooling fluids.
learn.
Huh?
So, all right, I'm just going to try and summarize this and then we'll get into it. So there's a thing called Honda Adventure Roads. HondaAdventureRoads.com, I think, right? That Honda takes you on a tour. And every year they do some amazing country. This year was Iceland. And they give you bikes. They give you training by some of the top riders in the world. In fact, Dakar, I think it was the U.S. Dakar team, giving them tips. Yeah, I know, right? They bring vehicles to take the luggage. They bring medical. They even take your luggage for you.
They bring spare bikes, too.
And they bring spare bikes. You are set up.
However, there is a caveat. You can only do this trip if you own a certain bike.
Oh, do tell.
An Africa Twin.
Oh, my God.
There
Get
it
out of
is.
here. I know.
There it is.
I had a feeling that was coming up.
So
yeah, that's awesome. So tell me more.
Exactly. I'm like, how do we not
me
know
more.
about this?
I was gonna say.
And Emma brought up, like, so many people don't even know about the Honda training facilities. They don't do a great job of really telling everyone.
Yeah, if you cast your mind back 3 years to that epic road trip me and Liza did to LA, we specifically went down to do the Honda training course. And they've got this wonderful facility in Chaparral. That's where it's next to Chaparral Motorsports, kind of San Bernardino way. And it's an amazing setup. It's multi-acre. They've got all the bikes, they've got all the gear, they've got classroom instruction. Everything is done to the highest standard, and nobody knows about it.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it till you guys found out when checked it out.
There's a reason that we don't know about it. And I know that, we know about the GS Trophy. This isn't that. And we know that Honda does a thing like the GS Trophy where people compete but
I didn't know that either.
This isn't that. Well, let's first start, AJ. What bike do you have specifically?
I have a 2018 Honda Africa Twin DCT.
So the blend of our two bikes.
Yeah. I got an 18 but the shifter, and you got the DCT.
Yeah, I know.
Great, cool, nice
Right.
setup.
So you heard about this trip, but we haven't heard about it. A lot of people here haven't heard about it. Why haven't we heard about this trip?
These trips are put on by Honda Motorcycles UK as a part of their marketing department.
It's not Honda US.
Oh,
They don't advertise it here.
interesting. Okay,
But you found out about it.
I found out about it doing research into what I thought would be my next bike, because I had a Honda 919, great bike. And I was like, okay, I want to drive further. I want to probably go off-road. Honda came out with this motorcycle. One of the videos I stumbled on YouTube was Honda Adventure Road's Nordcap, which took place in 2017, if memory serves. And that one was a trip that Honda put on for mostly journalists, come to find out. Because when
they do that. Those
that was when they were-
manufacturers.
yeah.
So when you watch the YouTube video, you think that this is just a group of riders, and the bikes are on road, and then they're off road. They go through rain. They're on a ferry. It's a great video, and it got me. And I was like, I think the Africa Twin is the bike for me. So, but I had stumbled on this Honda Adventure Roads thing, and then they did another one in 2019 to South Africa. And I can't get as many details about that one as I did Nordcap. But what I do know is they invited riders. And it was all riders out of the EU. And it was all riders who were current Africa Twin owners and who were members of Honda Adventure or Honda Riders Club.
HRC, yeah.
Okay,
HRC, which doesn't exist in the US. So by that point, I had already bought my Africa Twin and loved it.
right.
So I had planned and executed a great trip for me, my dad, another riding guy, where we left New York, where we were out of, and then rode all the way out to Nova Scotia. It was a 9-day trip. It was an amazing trip. So a month after that trip, I turned to the guys and I was like, hey, what do you want to do next? And they were like, well, we don't know. And I was like, well, all right, we'll start looking. So I started to look into Iceland. And I was like, this looks cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I looked at shipping costs. How do we get bikes there? Is it better to rent bikes there? And through the progression of that research, I stumbled upon Honda Adventure Roads again, and they're going to do it in Iceland, and they're going to do it in 2021. And this was in 2020.
Yeah.
Cool.
So so now I get excited. I was like, oh, this is cool. And it says there's a spot for you to register your interest. Oh,
You're like
this is-
registering now.
immediately.
Yeah.
So I messaged my dad, messaged our other rider buddy, like, hey, go register right now. Like, Honda may be able to take care of this for us. So I did message them, and they did get back to me. They said, thank you for registering your interest. You are a current Africa Twin owner, which is one of the requirements. The other requirement is most of our riders are out of the EU. We haven't really opened it up to the Americas yet. So, and you're not a Honda Rider Club member. So
Okay, there's that.
there's that. So
This is where I stopped him in the store. I'm like, I want to know. How did you get in?
So the event was scheduled for 2021, and due to the pandemic, it was postponed or possibly canceled. So I thought it was great that they had responded to me in the first place. The fact that I heard back from them was cool. And I was like, I will have to schedule this on my own or find a different trip.
I have to wonder if other Americans are responding, or you just got lucky, or I don't know.
I'm not certain.
Your name is not like Smith.
No.
Maybe it's the name. Sounds sort of European. How do you even say it? Werkema?
Ooh, that's really cool. Yeah, Workema.
Werkema.
Yep.
What's that? Polish? It could be anything.
I believe it's mostly Dutch.
See? Could be anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
European, that's all I got.
It was
EU.
all in the name.
So 2022 turns around, and I'm at my job in March sometime. I believe it was March. And I happen to check my personal inbox because I'm looking for an email that I believe I have lost. And I check my spam inbox. Sitting in my spam inbox is an email from Honda Adventure Roads. And I look at it and I'm like, no. And I open it and the email starts and I check the time in which they had sent it. And it was 6 hours ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So
this is March, and this is for a trip in July.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I read through the whole email, and I stop myself. I take myself away from the computer. I turn to one of my other coworkers, and I was like, please go read the email on my desktop and tell me what it says. and the guy walks over and
I
goes,
was like, did I get into college?
exactly. The guy looks over, reads it, and he goes, are you going to Iceland? I think I might be.
Yeah, just maybe.
So
Nice.
I immediately I called my wife and I said, hey, Honda Adventure Roads got back to me for the trip in Iceland. I think I'm invited. She goes, well, then you have to do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good woman.
Yeah, she's like, I have to do it. I was like, okay. So I responded and I sat on pins and needles because it was Friday when I sent my response. And I was like, maybe I didn't respond in time. They said what they said is, you had previously expressed interest in Honda Adventure Roads Iceland 2021. Due to the pandemic, we had to delay. We have been greenlit for 2022. There have been a few cancellations due to the change in schedule.
Let's let the American in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Awesome. That's all right.
There are 2 spots available. These spots will fill up very quickly. Please let us know as quickly as you can if you would like to go.
Wow.
Here's the
Nice.
cost. Here's a few other things. And I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in. And then I sat on pins and needles for an entire weekend.
Now, the cost, now it was in some other denomination. I don't know if it was euros or what, but it didn't seem that crazy.
It was not.
Was it like 9,000? How much was it?
No, it was 5.
Wow, really?
Oh my God.
I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people this, but it was 5,000.
they
Well,
haven't
what,
listed-
what do you
they
get for
haven't
$5,000
listed-
though?
Yeah,
Like,
I was
the-
going to say, now,
what's
what
the
did
scoop?
that include?
So-
Not the flight, of course.
Not that is correct. And that's basically all it didn't include.
Wow.
So that covered the use of a Honda Africa Twin. It would be a 2022.
For how many days?
It would be 9 days of riding, 11 days total.
Wow.
Okay.
I just saw one of those the other day, a new 22 Africa Twin with a low seat height. Pretty cool. I think it's 11. Those 1100s?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. So you could request DCT or not.
Cool.
All the lodging was covered, the food was covered, and a certain amount of booze were covered.
Certain
Wow.
amount.
Yeah.
Nice.
And medical and support.
Entire support team. Yep.
And
Wow.
a film crew doing high-end video.
Yeah, very impressive.
So the film crew is actually a group. I didn't know this at the time. Obviously, I've had to discover all this during the ride. But they're a group called Band Original, and I guess for motorsports, they are world renowned for being the top film producing group that you can hire.
Cool.
Yeah, if you go to Honda Adventure Roads on YouTube, you can see a bunch of the videos. There's, and he was telling me about how there was a guy like doing all the rides that they're doing, which is pretty challenging, with a cameraman on the back, swinging back and forth, taking pictures
awesome.
backwards.
That's rad.
I know.
That's commitment
Nice.
there. Well, I don't want to jump ahead, but I am really curious, like what the writing was, how you guys started out, how the
Yeah.
other writers were.
And I have friends who got back from Iceland recently, and to me, it seems like it's not no candy ass Italy like what you guys did with your real comfortable hotels and nice breakfasts. This is, to me, it seems, tell me if I'm wrong, equal parts beautiful and miserable.
The lodging that Honda arranged for us was amazing.
Right.
It was
But the
very
country-
comfortable stays. The riding was tough.
Yeah.
It tested your mettle.
It looks wet.
So parts of we for a good portion of the time we had very nice weather. One particular day, it was the absolute worst riding conditions I've ever been in. So it was I'm kind of jumping ahead in the story, but it doesn't matter. It was a driving rain. We knew it was going to be rainy when we left. We were warned about the windy conditions, and we had ridden earlier in the trip. We had ridden from the south all the way to the north, and because of there was not enough snow melt, our route that we would have taken back was still closed. So we needed to take almost the same route back, which was about 500 kilometers. which were for some of the European guys, that was a far distance. So that same route would be 60% gravel roads and off road, and then at times it would turn to pavement. We started the morning in the rain. We got to those gravel roads. The wind picked up. We had been warned about the wind. We were dealing with a 70-mile-an-hour crosswind.
On gravel.
On gravel.
Wow.
And we had the bikes. I'm on my bike. It's on a 45-degree angle. I'm hanging off of it, and there's a lot of choice words spoken, right? When the wind would buff it, and when the wind would not buff it, I was, please make it, please make it, please make it, because it was really, at the end of it, it was really cool to just tough it out and make it. But that was the worst riding conditions that I've ever been in. I told the other guys I was riding with, I was like, when I get back home, there's going to be a hurricane, and I'm going to turn my buddies and be like, it's great riding with it. Let's go.
So, I want to get into like all the different challenges, but there's another challenge we haven't stated yet. Jim, if you take a look at his left arm.
Okay.
So prior to this trip.
So that's not a birthmark.
Yes, it is a large, it looks like scar, I'm assuming now, across most of his forearm. If he was going to give you a forearm shiver, it's that.
When I first saw him, it's right on the borderline. Like, is that a birthmark? I don't want to mention it, but his arm looks like chopped liver.
Dude, I can look at him. I'm like, that's tough biker shit. I'm like, I wonder how long ago he did that. He probably spit his, street bike at 100 miles an hour.
We couldn't help ourselves.
So,
eventually, we had to ask.
So when did that happen?
So that happened at the end of May.
And he's leaving in July for Iceland.
Yeah.
That is a large.
Well, let's hear about that. You can't like show me that nasty huge scar and not get the story.
So, you do a yearly trip to Tennessee, North Carolina area around the Smokies. It's an awesome trip. So it is the last day that we will ride. Ride hard. It's on, and at that time we're on pavement. And I have been to this trip many times. So we're riding, it's like last hour, we're basically on our way back to the lodge, and we will be done with difficult riding. And like most mishaps on a motorcycle, it's a combination of factors that cause an accident, right? It was 92 that day. I did not have a abrasive resistant layer on. I only had he had
a dirt bike gear on.
Yeah,
basically armor, dirt bike armor with a mesh.
Yeah, I had a Leatt airframe, Leatt airframe
but that
3.
Seems pretty protective to me.
For impact, not abrasion.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
So, we had just completed some passes. We're going to take a left-handed turn. I am looking behind me to make sure the newer rider he's okay. I have no business looking behind me for that long. He's just fine. I miss perhaps some debris in the corner. Shouldn't have been that big a deal had my attention and focus been where it should have been. So, gonna have a low side. Okay. Here, I'm only doing about 30 miles an hour. The bike, I fall onto the left side. So, most of my gear does exactly what it's supposed to do, right? I get big motocross boots, knee braces, armored underwear. I'm good. Cool. So, no groin check needed. No groin check needed. But I wouldn't have minded a groin check, but no groin check needed. So I hit the ground on my left side, and my left elbow took the majority of the impact, and my elbow did not shatter. So I do not let go. Many motorcyclists are smarter than I am, and as their bike is sliding off, they let go. But I never let go. I hold on.
It will slide further than you.
And I just want to stay with it the whole time.
Oh, boy.
So, bad instincts. So during the process of sliding along the pavement, my mesh folds up. Eventually, it folds up and takes the elbowed armor with it, and then I'm sliding along the ground.
Gotcha.
A naked elbow. So finally, I come to a stop. I'm able to stand up. I'm not able to help get my motorcycle off the ground because my arm is bleeding pretty profusely.
Okay.
So, dumb. Bad, stupid mistake. And of course, like the entire time while I'm on my May ride trip, even through the off-road sections that I was doing and the on-road sections and the twisty turns, it's in the back of my head that I can't get hurt on this May ride.
Yeah.
I can't get hurt. And I want to know if that was a factor. There's no way I'm able to tell, but I know that it was always a shadow on me of I can't get hurt, because I had gone down on a May ride before, and I'd gotten a little beat up, but it was just a limp, whatever.
You're like jinxing it, like don't jinx it,
don't jinx it, and then you jinx it.
Yeah. Well, it's not like end of the day, probably tired and hot, and doesn't take much.
No, I think it's important to share, because actually on my trip to Pakistan, I was like, should I take this, my armor? And I ended up like, no, I'm going to buy a really vented jacket. I bought a new jacket for that. So I'm glad I did that, because yes, you are right. And that's why I think it's important to share.
No, that's good. Not because I would have assumed that an armor, because I've done that before. I thought an armored dirt bike jacket would hold up pretty. I mean, it did most of its job, but it could have been better. No, because I thought it would have held up better than it did.
It did exactly what it was designed to do, which is prevent you from impact.
Yeah, not grind along the asphalt for 100 feet.
It's not really designed for that.
Yeah.
So
good to know. All right.
So did that affect your trip?
So I had this arm wound, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I got picked up by the ambulance because it was bleeding enough, and we were like, hey, you might as well just go to the hospital. Like, go have them look at it, take an x-ray, get some stitches. So I did that while in North Carolina. They're like, hey, it's not broken. You need some stitches. They stitched it up. Great job. Great job by the medical staff down in North Carolina. Very happy. So cool. My dad happened to be down there with the truck, so wasn't a big deal. Rent a U-Haul, throw it in the back of it. We'll get back to New York, no problem.
But that's not your only injury.
But that is not the end of the story, unfortunately.
Yes.
But wait, my story gets worse or better depending on how you look at it. So my arm began to swell up. Not really great. I contacted my doctor. Due to the state of the way the scheduling works, it's really difficult sometimes to see your doctor when you want to see your doctor.
Right.
So they said it's going to be 2 weeks before we get to see you. And I was like, that's preposterous. But according to me, I'm okay.
I'm just curious, because my road rash was bigger than yours. Did it get stuck to the bed sheets?
Oh.
I covered it every night.
Sheet pizza.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife would.
I remember waking up and stuck to the sheets, and you have to rip it off.
Yeah.
It is no
Little
joke.
pepperonis are left.
Yeah. So my arm swelled up, which maybe wouldn't have been that big a deal. Perhaps it was a mistake. Perhaps it wasn't. But I'm in the shower, and I am keeping my arm out of the water and elevated, so I lift my arm over my head. What I didn't know is I probably had a lymphatic clot, which was not cool.
As a result of the...
And just as a result, and
Crash, okay.
What I probably needed to do is have a medical professional just tell me how to handle that. But I didn't have that at the time. So I lifted my arm over my head in the shower, and the clot let go. So I felt the fluid travel past my neck. But I didn't know what I was feeling, but I was like, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
And so
like Ghostbusters or something.
So I went to bed. I laid down. I went to bed, and I woke up the next day, and the swelling was gone. Now, what I did not know at the time is all of that fluid had to go somewhere, and where it went is surrounding my left chest cavity, and so I went and I slept, and it just sat there. So I
collapsed your lung?
Not yet. So I continue to go throughout my week, and I had promised a friend of mine that I was going to help her put on a roof on a house that she had purchased. So there's going to be a bunch of us. So it was 90 degrees, and I'm out there on a roof that's 45-degree angle, and I'm helping put on a roof. And I don't know it yet, but I have that the fluid is beginning to compress my left lung. And I am developing pneumonia in both of my lungs.
Oh no!
Wow.
Tension pneumothorax.
Yeah. So not good. So I begin to feel some discomfort, but I'm not sure what it is. And what I think I'm feeling is a twisted rib. Like, have you ever had a twisted rib? Those suck, but your chiropractor will go and fix you.
So those scars, they cut you open and drained the fluid?
So I went to the hospital. So finally, I Sunday. Now I'm supposed to leave for Iceland, I think, in 4 weeks. Right? In 4 weeks. So I sit up out of my bed on Monday morning at 1-something in the morning, and I am in the worst pain in my life. And I can barely talk, and I can only walk at an extremely slow pace.
I never knew that like road rash could turn into this.
I didn't either.
Yeah, that was an eye-opening experience. So I have to wake my wife up and just go, hospital. So we go to the hospital.
Jeez, that's scary.
So I didn't get a great diagnosis in the beginning. They said I had pneumonia and I need to take these pills and breathe into this thing, right? So like it's I forget what they call it, but I called it the torture device because I could barely breathe, right? And you'd pull in, and it would measure the volume that you were pulling in at, right? And it has numbers from 0 all the way up to like
respirometer.
Respirometer up to like 4,000, right?
Jim, I'm just thinking it's a good thing you have a girlfriend living with you now, because if this had happened to you and you would hit your spot tracker and I go, oh, he's in his house, he's pooping.
Yeah.
I would have ignored it.
Dying on the bathroom floor.
It's usually when he uses his spot tracker to tell me he's pooping.
Good.
Here I am.
So, wow.
So after 3 days of that, of just sitting in the hospital, and I could barely walk, can have a very difficult time talking. A doctor comes in and looks at me and he's like, I don't think you have pneumonia. He's like, this is not pneumonia. I'm going to send you for another CAT scan with contrast. And he's like, I don't, this is not what we're dealing with. So they did that, and they came back after a real short amount of time, and they said, you have fluid surrounding your left lung. Your left lung is almost entirely compressed. Yeah. So that then they put tubes in.
Yep, they give you a local. I watch Grey's Anatomy.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah,
They give you a local, and then but they slice, but then they got to cut the meat between the ribs and stick their fingers in there and pry it open, and that hurts.
And then they stick a tube in.
And then they shove a tube in there to drain the fluid.
So they put the first tube in, and I drained over 500 cc's of fluid within the first hour of that being in there, and within an hour I had immediate relief. I'm back to talking.
Yeah.
I'm back to walking, right? And so
Thank goodness.
So they took another X-ray, and they're like, and even though I had drained all that fluid out, they were like, "You lung shows no progress whatsoever."
You just put the air compressor hose in there and hold your nose and just give it a good blast.
It's like popping the bead on, right? On a tire.
Exactly.
So at this point, I know I'm in the hospital. This is now we're getting on more than a week, and I know that my trip is in danger. It was in danger when I fell, but I could, hey, it's not broken. I'm fine. And now my trip's in danger. So I'm like, we'll put another tube in.
Yeah.
I'm like, my progress is so good, put another tube in. So they put another tube in.
In another location?
In another location.
They just undo the belly button. Isn't that what that's for? Just untwirl it.
So that one didn't really drain that much, and the x-rays showed no progress. So now they're like, okay, you're going to need surgery. So now I'm like, now the trip is really in danger. Because what had happened is the fluid just didn't go into my chest cavity and compress my lung. It was in between your thoracic cavity is kind of sealed. So the fluid had snuck in like in between the layers that surround all that. So what I had is like little pancake pockets
like
all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's like making a croissant with all the butter layers, right?
I don't know. I've never made a croissant, but sure. So 1 tube, 2 tubes, 10 tubes isn't going to do it. They got to go in there, get a camera in there.
Use
and
kitty
then,
litter. Soak it up.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm with that.
Yeah,
So finally, they're like, we're going to need surgery. So at that point, they scheduled the surgery for the following Tuesday. And I'm still stuck in the hospital because now I got tubes leaving my body and I can't just take them out and walk out. So now I'm like, now my trip is severely in danger.
But it's actually not that invasive, and you can recover pretty quickly, yeah?
He's got tubes sticking out of his
Yeah,
body.
but I saw his scars. It looks like some madman stabbed him.
He's got some pictures.
So they went. Once they said they're going to do the surgery, there's no other option. I did sit in my hospital alone in the dark and have a nice cry at the loss of my trip. Yeah, because I was like, the odds of me being able to do this are they're decreasing daily now.
Slim and none.
So had my cry, then was like, okay, but I also committed to it's not a no yet.
Right.
There wasn't a no. There's a.
Are you asking the doctors, or are you not telling them you got this trip? And are you not telling the trip that you're having medical problems?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hospital, the doctors do not get to know that I would like to plan to ride a motorcycle with possibly within the next 18 days.
Yeah.
The
Including
Honda
flying and
does
everything
not
else.
get to know that I have had these injuries because we don't want.
You don't want to send him that selfie of you in the hospital with the thumbs up.
Yeah, don't want to do that right now. So, it was good information control, and I even like my mother posted something on her Facebook page of like I was like, my son's in the hospital, and I was like, why did you post that? I was like, Honda might find that. Like obviously, Honda wouldn't do that. Honda's not necessarily going to care. Like if the doctors give you the okay,
well, they might care because they're responsible for you over there.
So
Yeah.
True.
they do the surgery. They then have to put in 2 larger tubes than they had before. So now I have what I had before was like pretty thin tubes.
Do you look like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix before he comes out of the pod at this point?
So that's what all this on my left side is.
Wow.
So
Wow.
but once everything was out, I could start my recovery. I was in a lot of pain because they went in there and like messed with a lot of stuff. But they're like, I was like, what is the fastest path to recovery? They're like, the fastest path to recovery is actually for you to walk. The more you are walking and using what did you call it before, Scott?
The respirometer.
Yes, perfect. So the more you do this, and when I was admitted, I could not get to 500.
So the more you blow.
Yeah. Yep, life will suck less the more you blow, I guess.
Emma, you would have recovered really fast.
Yes.
So I aggressively pursued my recovery.
Good for you.
And because it wasn't a no yet, eventually I got released from the hospital and I called the pulmonologist. And I said, hey, can I fly?
Yeah.
I have to fly for work.
Yep.
Part of my job is to fly.
For work.
Can I fly for work?
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
goes, yes, you should be able to fly because your lung was never collapsed. It was only compressed.
Okay.
If your lung was collapsed, they don't want you to fly.
Okay.
And at this point, when I exited the hospital, I have 10 days before I am due in Iceland.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Okay. Now I want to skip ahead. So, dude, that was some stressful weeks before this trip. So now let's get to, all right, you're going. Hell or high. I mean, you were going anyway. Let's just face it.
Oh, yeah.
You're going. Were your injuries bothering you, or was it manageable?
Part of my armor kind of like was sitting on one of my surgery sites, but it wasn't. But I didn't have any problems with breath,
Okay, good.
and I didn't, and I wasn't weak. I could lift things. I was like, okay, I could like this is manageable. So
Cool.
Cool.
So I was like, I'm going.
All right. So now let's get to some of the basics. How many people are on this tour?
Honda sent 45 Africa twins over.
Wow.
So
I know, right?
So there is 30 riders like I am, who paid to be there. Most of them are out of the EU. I am one of 2 people from North America. I am the only American. And then there is a guy whose name is Frankie. He's a whole lot of person, and he is from Canada.
But there were some other Americans there, weren't there?
The Dakar rider, Ricky Braybrick.
Yeah. Oh, pitching. I'm paying attention now.
Yeah, I know.
that's
His
cool.
coach. And
He was one of the 3 Dakar riders that they brought in.
How fun.
Yeah.
Nacho Corneo and Adrian Van Buren. We're all there for like the first 4 days and to join us. And one of the first things that they went with us on is they had like closed off a dirt track for us to run exercises on, get familiar with the bikes, train us up a little bit.
this is what I love about this, that it's not just, here you go, boop, bye. They bring in some of the best in the world and give them training.
We also, like David Thorpe, who has the training school in Europe, 3-time world champion.
Supercross, what was he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He was one of the main directors of our thing. He's one of the guys who did our daily briefing. So
cool.
we had top-notch people with us.
That's cool.
And it's not as much as a surprise to me as you think, because once you understand how Honda works, when you're contracted to Honda as a Pro Works rider, And back in the day when I was with Honda, we had a selection of them on road rider and dirt bike. You're contracted to Honda not just to ride the bike. You're under contract to Honda. So that might involve, yes, you're going to ride the bike in the Boulder 24-hour race, but you're also going to do this ad on TV. You're going to do this ad for the newspapers. You're going to talk to this group. You're going to do this. It's all part of being under contract for Honda.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Yeah, basically. Well, everyone's getting paid buku bucks, so it's not bad. But when you're under contract to Honda, and I'm sure Kawasaki and Suzuki are the same, you basically do what they tell you. Right. Because you're under contract.
Yeah, you see the MotoGP guys do that all the time, too.
Right.
So.
Hey, Bagel, I'm just curious. When they do the Vespa trips like this, do they bring in, the pizza delivery guy to give you guys tips?
Vespa trips in Iceland?
So,
Do it.
I don't think so.
It sounds like Honda's pulling all the tricks out. So right away, they're doing some instruction and training. I'm curious to know, what are some skills that you gained and you learned right away? What are some things you learned?
For the training session, most of it was getting used to the bike because obviously it's not your bike. The version I had is DCT. It's going to run different. It has a lot more modes. One of the things they specifically had you do is a fast acceleration and a fast braking exercise with both the ABS on and the ABS off, and the traction control and the on and the traction control off, because they wanted you to understand how those, some of the upgraded electronics that my 2018 and your guys' 2018s may not have, how those are much different on this bike and how they're going to affect it. So that was one of the exercises that we had, but beyond that, they also wanted to be able to separate you into the faster group
and an evaluation,
and the slower group, and see if there's going to be people who just required a little bit of extra attention.
So how were your skills going in?
I didn't love how well I rode in the training session. We had
wasn't that you in the video falling over in a corner?
No.
Was that in the training?
Yes. But that wasn't exactly a fall over.
Oh, what was it?
The last exercise that we had for the day is we were on the closed motocross course. So there's some whoops, there's a little hill, there's some left-hander, right-handers, right? Some cool stuff. And we had already eaten lunch, and it was my group's last exercise to run. So we started going through it. Everything's cool. It's also the exercise where the HRC riders, the Dakar rider guys are with us, and they're giving us pointers and stuff. So practically our first loop, I got ran into.
Oh, that's right. You said that you got rear-ended.
So this has never happened to me before.
You weren't going fast enough.
I was, apparently not. I was going. It's the big hill.
Hit that triple.
It's the big hill, and then you make a left. And I didn't want to go flying off the hill and not make the left. So I felt I took it at a fine speed, start making the left, and then what enters my vision first, I feel like a very strong hit, but I'm not sure what's happening yet. What I see first enter my vision is my license plate and my rear directionals tumbleweed past me.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So now at this point, I'm slowly going down, and the realization of something is happening to me is slowly taking place. And a bike comes into frame sliding in the dirt.
Oh, no.
And then a rider comes into frame sliding in the dirt.
He let
rolling.
go. He let go.
Yeah, he let go. Rolling, and he's going, I'm sorry. And then the realization hits me. I'm like, oh, my God, I've just been hit. So I fall over. And it was faster, but I'm okay. We both get up, and he runs him over to me, and he is immediately extremely apologetic. And he's like, "Are you hurt?" And I was like, "No." And I'm like, "Are you hurt?" And he's like, "No." And he has no idea that I've already been injured.
Right. So do you just stand up and snap your fingers, and a new bike appears?
We in the video in the first YouTube video, you can actually see he and I hug it out.
Yeah.
And while other people help pick up our bikes, and so they brought him off to the side. It wasn't they were the mechanics looked at it. They're like, you feel okay? And I was like, yeah, and at this point, I'm very conflicted.
Yeah.
I know I feel okay, but something else just happened to me that I wasn't anticipating. That's never happened to me before.
Yeah.
And this is what I really didn't want.
Yeah.
You know, I really didn't want to fall over and hurt myself again.
Yeah, but you're coming on an adventure ride. That's part of the program, right? I mean, I'm sure almost everyone did it. A lot of people fall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And not all of us were able to finish riding. So the mechanics looked at the bikes. They were like, you guys are good? You going to head back out there? You feel okay? And I was like, yeah, we feel fine. And I stayed friends with that guy. That guy is a very talented off-road motorcyclist. You know, mistakes happen, accidents happen. He thinks that as he came over the hill, he was a little too hot. He landed, maybe possibly a throttle blip, and just boom, he got away from him. He not enough space cushion, but he's definitely a very talented motorcyclist, and I love the hell out of that guy. I have his number. I'll go visit him in the UK sometime. So,
other than the 70-mile-an-hour winds and the rain, I want to know some of the other challenges that you encountered, because from what I've seen and heard from people who've been there, so there's a lot of water, so you have like water crossings, you're dealing with a lot of mud. So what were some of the challenges?
So one of the videos that they sent you before you decided to go, they're like, hey, you've been invited, watch this video. It covers the terrain challenges that you will see. And the presenter's like, you'll be riding along and the terrain can be extremely varied. You'll go through hard packed gravel to deep gravel to deep sand and then back to any of the other terrains. And I watched the video and I was like, okay, sure. And then our day 2 of riding, we traveled to this area called Hekla. And Hekla is a volcanic area that has a lot of varied terrain around it. It also was, I think it erupted in 2000 and shut down a lot of airline flights. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're riding through Hekla, and it's pretty cool. It's like, it is our first real off-ride riding day. There's, at some parts, there's moss, there's plants. You're following along. It's really cool. There's nothing else out there. And then that'll kind of go away as you get closer to the more volcanic area, and there'll be the varied forms of gravel. But I had yet to get to the deep sand. And then I'm riding, and then all of a sudden, the bike is very unstable very quickly.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, whoa, what was that? And I didn't have time to react. So, like, nothing happened, and I just kept going. But that was the deep sand. And that video where they said it can come up on you extremely quickly is absolutely 100% accurate.
Oh, is the sand black?
Oh, yes.
So you don't see it.
Yeah, cool.
So you
will keep an eye out for it, though, after that.
I fell over, I think, almost every single day.
Yeah.
Almost every single day. And almost every single day, it was due to deep sand. Now, I had like this great training regimen that I was going to do before my trip, because I knew that deep sand was one of the talents that I was severely lacking, having not really had.
You should go riding with Jim. He loves sand.
Yeah, I'll show you how to ride bad in sand.
So, but I didn't get a chance to do that because instead I stayed in the hospital.
What?
I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I was supposed to be training.
Yeah, beforehand.
So, it was primarily in deep sand, but you do get very good at looking for it. Because you start to really identify. So that whole area, that Hekla area, that was profoundly a big learning curve, because the terrain is that varied. Within a very short amount of time, you can be on hard packed gravel to deep sand to now you're taking turns on much deeper gravel. So. Sometimes it looks exactly like you're riding on the surface of the moon.
It's good training, though, in the sense that expect the unexpected. Remember that in the old Brady Bunch? But, riding dirt bikes that the unexpected things are going to come up all the time. And then when you kind of mentally prepare yourself for that, when it does happen, you're a little bit more ready. But yeah, I know when you start looking at sand that takes you out, you start looking real hard for where's that sand next.
And I'm thinking too, the level of riders on this, because they asked some people to send a video to kind of show their riding ability. So they want to make sure that you're already a capable rider, not necessarily a competitor or anything, but a capable rider. You're probably moving at a pretty quick pace, I'm guessing. And from the videos, everyone's hauling ass down these roads.
There were 2 different. They did separate us into. Eventually, it was 2 different groups. So I was in the slower group, and there were people who were in the faster group who definitely had like dirt bike racing experience.
Yeah.
And like they own betas, they own their own dirt bikes, they own all the
like you did this when you were little, didn't you?
Oh yeah. So eventually some of the guys that were in group 1 would filter back to group 2, and the top 6 guys in group 2, of which I was in, those guys were like, oh, there's really not that significant difference in speed. So each of the top groups, I would say there was a big difference. Like those guys were doing 90 miles an hour in the gravel. Yeah. You know, where the group 2, we're not doing quite 90. Yeah. We're doing less than that.
Well, you watch, the way those people like talk about Ricky Brabeck, the way those guys ride in the sand, it's just wide open. Yeah.
But I mean, nevertheless, it was a trip that an experienced rider should take. I mean, you already said you've done a decade on your 919 before you even got your Africa Twin. So you're an experienced motorcyclist. You wouldn't want to do this trip as a novice.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
So I'm curious, did you get wet at all?
Oh, did I? And it wasn't the rain.
It wasn't oozing out your orifice, was it?
Thankfully not. So they did. Honda gave you a whole app where you could look at and you could see the route. You could see what the lodging would be. They even showed you what your dinner would be.
Oh, that was my next question. I want to hear about the food.
Oh, yeah. Did you eat whale?
No.
Okay.
So at least not to my knowledge.
Did you get the fermented shark?
No, I was warned against that, and it wasn't to my knowledge, it wasn't offered. So one of the routes says like this is going to be a big water crossing day. So, and boy, were they right.
Cool.
So you started off gravel, and then you got to a big water crossing, and they'll have a big rope across it that is out there so people know like the
path,
kind of the path to take. Even cars will use this path because it's the shallowest path. Damn. So they had Honda had their support people as well as some of the Dakar guys in the water standing to come help you. Like some of the support guys were in full waders waiting to help you. So
they know.
They know. Yeah. So everybody tried going through and in the first one, it was the longest and deepest, and I don't know why we started with that one. There were 2 other subsequent
because they know.
Yeah, it'll weed them out quick.
There were subsequent water crossings that weren't nearly as deep and weren't nearly as long, but the first one was long and it was deep. You are definitely going to your thigh.
Oh wow!
You're going, yeah. So
wow.
And you're probably going to fall over because there's big rocks. And when you hit them, you hit them, you don't know where they are.
Where's the intake on an Africa Twin?
So it's higher than your knee.
Well, yeah, it must be.
It's under the seat, but still, that's where it gets scary.
Yeah.
So the group one starts going through, and you start seeing people, boom, they hit a rock. Some of them are able to manipulate around it. The best technique I saw is once you hit something big, you drop your legs down and you duck walk it.
Yeah.
You know, to give yourself the stability. And I didn't learn that yet. So other people fell over. The support staff's there. They'll either stop you from falling over or they'll help you pick the bike back up, get you back on the bike, and help you get going again so you get through it. So I have the illustrious number of falling over the most times in that particular river. Thank you very much.
Is the water cold?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's glacial fed.
Yeah. Freaking Iceland.
And how did your waterproof gear do? Submerged?
Yeah, how'd your boots do?
It was perfect. I contained all the water.
Yeah, it all stayed right in there, didn't it?
That cold is good for fighting inflammation too.
I could have helped fish migrate on that trip. Okay, so I fell over 3 times in that same river. So just
then you got to start in the river.
Yeah,
and then fall over and start in the river again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So not great for me on that thing.
Yeah.
But how cool to have people like there to help pick it up. I mean, the learning curve, that's pretty steep. I mean, in a good way, kind of sketchy, but still good way to learn, I guess.
If you watch the YouTube video number 3 for Honda Adventure Roads, it will see me speaking about my experience on that particular river. But it was cool to do. You understand that those bikes can go through that deep of water.
In the video, it's really cool. If you watch, they put a camera underwater, so you're seeing the wheels go by underwater.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's
beautiful.
Cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really well shot.
On that comment you just made, AJ, about you understand what the bikes can do, would you consider yourself a brand ambassador for Africa Twin before and after this? And do you think that was their intent?
I think it was. One of the reasons why they brought that film crew out is to make marketing material for the Africa Twin, and so they get a bunch of people now who have had this experience on these Africa Twins, where we can say, "Hey, for 9 days, I took this bike into conditions that people say the Africa Twin wasn't designed to make it for, and it performs."
Well, and Jim, you've been rediscovering your bike, and you said just last week, it is a big dirt bike. It is capable.
Yeah, I think if maybe you found the same thing. If you ride it like, I mean, you've only ridden a giant dirt bike, so you may not know different. But if you ride it like a dirt bike, it just rides like a dirt bike. If you see, uphill, challenging, ruddy stuff with rocks, and you just look at the top and stay on the throttle, it goes. But it takes a little more commitment to do the stuff on a big, heavy, 1,000cc dirt bike. But I think it's utterly capable as a dirt bike.
So, Anthony, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is more capable, the Africa Twin or the GS 1250?
I'm going to have to say the Africa Twin.
Yeah, good answer. But,
it's the Africa Twin show. Well, but they're different bikes. They're kind of different bikes, I would say.
What gives you that opinion?
AJ.
Yeah. So, AJ, what do you think? How do you compare the two?
I would say the Africa Twin is by far the better off-road motorcycle.
Boom!
But the BMW is more capable all-around bike. That's the trade-off.
No, it's just capable. It's more better on pavement. One is better off-road, and one is better on pavement.
I can't stop myself from asking this question, but heading for the MOA, the Range of Light this weekend, where it's going to be a bunch of, let's say, older gentlemen on BMWs. What was the oldest person on your trip?
Ooh, good question.
One of the instructors was named I don't know his full name, but I called him Eric the Frenchman. He is definitely a gentleman who is probably in his 70s. And he was one of our riding guides. He had been on every single Honda Adventure Roads, and he rode amazing.
Cool.
He was on an Adventure Sports DCT, and he couldn't be stopped.
Yeah.
So
Rob Glass,
awesome.
who teaches for Rawhide and was at the 49ers this spring. I mean, he's getting up there in years. He's certainly got some years on me, but he kicked all of our butts.
But I think the weakness of the Africa Twin, which I believe they've rectified for the street, and the advantage of the GS has a far smaller front wheel. It's got a 19-inch front wheel, which is disadvantageous in the dirt, but it makes it a far more stable platform on the street. I think all of you Africa Twin owners grumble about how your bike gets at 90 plus on the street, and it's all down to that 21-inch front wheel.
Yep.
And the new ones, I want to say, I think the 22s have got a 19. I think they've gone down, which is going to make it.
I was telling you like a minute ago, the new ones they look like a Tenere 700. So
I think it's got the smaller front wheel
I
to make it more stable at very high speed on the freeway, which is where the GS shines.
Yeah, the GS is great at
any speed on the freeway,
or even in the twisties. I mean, there's no way I could keep up with the GS and the twisties in the Santa Cruz Mountains on the African Twin.
But
it's the front wheel.
I think they rectified that and they took that compromise because you want you want a big diameter hoop when you're in the dirt,
right?
Because. But the Super 10's never had a 21-inch front wheel. It's always been 19.
And I don't want anyone to just make the assumption that this was an all-male group, because it wasn't, was it?
Girls too?
I didn't.
They invited one female rider,
Vanessa Ruck. How'd she do?
She was in Group 1. And she rode really well. She does have off-road chops, so it's not just like Instagram fame. She is an actual rider. She did really well. One of the other guys that I was hanging around with rode with her. She was also at sometimes part of our little dinner crew that we eventually had. So she's got the chops.
Before we talk about food, I have to comment how much I love those leather pants you got, Emma. I'm so glad you got those.
Thank you, darling.
Yes, and I saw you're on the Harley today. But what was the most challenging riding that you did? Like the most technical kind of stuff, and how'd the bike do there?
It kind of all coalesced into one day, and parts of that day were my favorite. The morning was not my favorite because those were the deep water crossings. I did eventually...
Tough way to start the day.
Yeah, tough way to start the day. But then we were riding through sections where we found it was extremely rocky, like
like big rocks.
It would be kind of little rocks, hard pack rocks, and then you'd get into a section where it was much bigger rocks, and
Where you're
then
kind of bouncing around.
Like the baby head stuff.
and then we took a wrong turn, and then we ended up in baby heads.
Yeah.
And that was some rough stuff.
Yeah.
But it was cool because if you got up on the pegs, you focused up, and you weren't even going that fast, but that bike went up, went
21-inch front wheel.
just went through it, and then we ended up we ended up getting back on track, and we ended up going through a section where we entered into a national forest, and this was like my absolute favorite part.
It had to be gorgeous.
Is not only were you on gravel and you're going up, and the turns got a little tighter, but now you're riding on top of cooled lava flows.
Oh wow!
They're just and it's tight technical stuff, and it was just one of the coolest sections. It didn't last.
Was it chunky or glassy? What was the
like you'd be in gravel, right? Like semi deep, nothing too bad. It'd be a sharp corner, and then you'd go up onto the darker, cool, and then you'd riding on it, and it was just cool.
It's like paved by lava.
Yeah, it was like paved by lava, and then sections were older and got more eroded, so it'd be more ruddy. So you had to be, once it gets technical, and that's
It doesn't sound like something you want to fall on either.
So I want to ask you about DCT. You ride a DCT at home, and you requested the DCT. Do you feel that on terrain like this, it's an advantage or disadvantage?
I feel like in the technical stuff, then it's an advantage.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're going through deep sand, I don't know if it would have been an advantage or not. Not sure, because I never had the experience of trying to take a manual through the deep sand. Mm-hmm. In general, I prefer riding off-road DCT Africa Twin. Take away one of the things I have to worry about. Am I in the right gear? Probably. If I'm not, I got a plus or minus. It's instantaneous. I have the expected power when I need it. So
feathering the clutch on that big bike in difficult terrain takes a lot of your brain up. You're using a lot of brain power feathering the clutch and that stuff. When I rode, like we were talking earlier, when I rode Liza's, all of a sudden you're like, wow, it's pretty out here. You're not like freaking out.
Yeah, for me, you're just your balance and direction is all you're thinking about.
That was what I thought about in the GS in that rawhide class at 49ers this spring. Is you got a lot of clutch control to think about.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much you focus on that a lot.
I'm curious what percentage of the people chose DCT. Do you have any idea?
It was less than half.
Oh,
but a lot of these guys...
that's more than I expected.
Me too, yeah.
A lot of these guys were very accomplished off-road motorcyclists. So
And what did they think? Because a lot of them think it's the devil's work.
A lot of them could understand what the positive points were. Even the 3 Dakar guys, Honda didn't give them manual bikes.
Oh,
And they stuck it to
that
them.
was intentional.
They wanted manual bikes.
They want to see those guys riding those bikes to sell bikes, right?
How true it is. I've heard that the DCT is a harder sell, certainly in England, maybe in other parts of Europe, than it is here in America, because a lot of people are very dyed in their ways, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, I want to ride manual.
So when I went to buy my Africa Twin, I asked the dealership in New York, "What's the percentage?" And they turned to me and said 50%.
Oh, I would have guessed like 10.
50% DCT, 50% not.
Maybe it's evolved. Maybe since it first came out, maybe more people are warming up to it.
People figure out because it's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think once you get over the fact that automatic transmissions in bikes, and remember Honda kind of pioneered that as well with Moto Guzzi back in the 70s. But it was like an old General Motors automatic transmission.
Like the CB450A.
It was always in the wrong gear.
Yeah.
Well,
but a DCT is nothing like that. I always say it's like there's this magical little Japanese engineer guy in your engine just changing gears for you.
AJ and I had both rented the same automatic Africa Twin back on the May ride. What, a few years before you bought yours? Or was it like a year?
1 year.
They're
and
just
boom.
magical.
Yeah, it totally worked. And I'd driven an FJR 13 automatic in the city up here. And very, it was hard to know when it was going to pick up. When you
Right.
lean that bike over for a U-turn, it's like, I don't know where it's going to stand
Right.
back up for me. But that wasn't the case with the Honda.
Yeah, it's a very, very different setup.
Well, since we're talking about it, Emma, you want to talk a little bit deeper about it? Because, we're experiencing these Africa twins that do these amazing things, but
No, the Africa Twins
there's
been...
a long history.
Well, it's not... I mean, it's long and it's not long. So I'll do a brief history hole, and we need to go back to... We'll start at the beginning, actually, which is, for the Africa Twin, it's really the late 70s. And Honda had introduced the CX500, the plastic maggot, as a 500cc V-twin. And in its day, when it was new in 1977, I mean, it was technological marvel. But people were grumbling that it was quite heavy. And Honda realized, it's a big, heavy bike. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a lighter version of it. And they wanted a 500cc platform. They wanted it to be a V-twin because of power characteristics. So in 82, they came out with this VT500, the Euro, and it was launched in Europe first. And it was a delightful little thing. 500cc V-twin, but unlike the CX, which went across the frame, it was fore and aft like a Harley-Davidson. And it had a 3-valve head, which basically means you had one big exhaust valve and 2 intake valves. And it had this thing called Honda's pent roof combustion chamber. And a pent roof, it's a technical term for anything with a multi-valve, but it was a very, very clever design. It made good power. And that was really the genesis of this very, very compact V-twin engine that made good power. I mean, in a 500cc bike, it made 50 horsepower, which doesn't sound like much now, but back in 82, that was quite a lot. And very good power characteristics, very torquey. And it was easily adaptable to chain to... What do you got there, Liza? Have you got... There it is. Well, no, you've gone straight to the Africa Twin.
Yeah.
But it was adaptable for chain. It was adaptable for shaft. It's a very, very adaptable engine. Right around that time, so now we're talking the early 80s, there was this little race going on from Paris to Dakar in Africa. And the bikes were always a big part of it from the very first year, which we remember was 79.
78, 79 first year they ran it.
Yes.
But 78 is when they announced it.
Right. And bikes were always a big part of it. And the early bikes were dirt bikes only. I mean, TT500 Yamaha's really dominated. But by the mid-80s, Honda was starting to come up with a couple of dirt bikes that, based on the XT platform, that were really doing quite well. And I wanted to celebrate this. Now, Yamaha had already cashed in on this by coming out with the Tenere, which was based, at least in part, on how the Paris-Dakar bikes looked. And there was a very particular look to these Paris-Dakar bikes. It was obviously a dirt bike. It had a larger fuel tank. It was a bigger bike. It was a rangier bike. And it just so happened that they were very, very handsome-looking bikes. And they usually had twin headlights in the front. It's very impressive.
We looked it up the
bike.
first year, like the most common bike. There was the, I believe, Yamaha XT500.
The XT and the
with
TT500s.
the big tank and the double headlights and everything. But it's the dirt bike under there.
Right. But a very impressive-looking bike. So Honda... And this would have been 86. Honda decided, we're going to try a road-going but competition-based version of a Paris-Dakar bike. And we're going to use that 500cc engine as a platform, but we're going to punch it out to 650. So the first XLV 650s came out. They only lasted a couple of years. And they were really quite a special bike. I mean, it was done by Honda Racing. It was very, very expensive. It was a very, very limited market bike. Not entirely successful. So what Honda thought was, let's make this a little more mainstream or even a little more wacky. And so for 1989, for the 1990 year model, they punched it out again. It's basically the same 500cc engine. Now they punched it out to 750. It had the same 3-valve heads, single exhaust valve, twin intakes. XLV 750, which is the first of the Africa Twins as we know them. And it was an amazing bike. Huge thing. I remember pulling these. There it is. I remember pulling these things out of the crates, and they were giants, absolute giants, easily as big as the current generation.
Hey, Liza, let me see.
And it was very much styled on the Paris Dakar lines. It had a giant fuel tank, very, very tall suspension, twin headlights, which was really the trademark of it. 92, they put a trip computer on it, which was a very sophisticated piece of kit. And it didn't spawn the adventure bike generation, but it certainly was one of the earlier versions of an adventure bike.
But Emma, you told me something fascinating.
Yes.
That if we go back even further, the roots of the early Africa Twin, what it came out of. And it's something you wouldn't expect.
Well, you can buy a legacy of the Africa Twin engine today, and it's not what you think it is. Every time you go into a Honda dealer and you see the humble Honda VT 750 Shadow, that's the basis.
Yeah.
That's basically what the Africa Twin engine has become. And that VT 750 Shadow engine is the same V-twin, 742cc, 3-valve head, single exhaust valve. And they change it around a little bit, they change the angle, but it's the same basic engine.
So does that also go for the VT500?
Yeah, but I mean...
Do you know what the VT500 you can find in Jim?
Ascot, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can draw a line from the Ascot
Isn't that funny?
to the Africa Twin.
Isn't that funny? So why did they end up... Well, I'm jumping ahead to the parallel.
Yeah.
Well, it lasted... I mean, it wasn't exactly a short-lived bike, but it was never a good seller in America. You could... Up until 2003, you could buy an XLV 750. But towards the end... I mean, the 90s were really the heyday for it.
I want that. I want the old.
Looks cool. So why did they end up going to it? Why'd they get away from the V-twin? Why'd they go back to parallel twin?
Well, the new ones?
Yeah.
That's a very, very good question.
Because the one thing I really like about like the KTMs with the V is it's so much narrower. You know what I mean? Your legs aren't way out. It's so much more nimble.
I have my suspicions, and I mean, you really don't know what drives the designers. I mean, you have a list of criteria that you've got to meet. You've got to meet certain power characteristics. You've got to meet certain mile per gallon characteristics, and of course emission characteristics as well. I always think that when a new bike comes out, they always set their sights on the existing champion, and this is who we're going to go after. And the existing champion is Super Tenere.
Yeah.
And they had firmly had the Super 10 in their sights, and the Super 10's a parallel twin.
Yeah, just curious.
And, back then, they didn't really have... I mean, I suppose they could have used one of the bigger platforms for the Cruiser V-twins. But, if I think about it, if you wanted to be true to the original V-twin and you used a bigger version of like a Cruiser V-twin, they're not exactly powerhouses now. So I think it would have been hard to get the power out of it. It would have been a major redesign. I think they just started from scratch. And who knows, maybe they had the DCT idea from
the beginning.
From the beginning.
And it jived with that.
And just the way the transmission was laid out, they didn't
sure.
have enough real estate to include a V-twin.
Right.
There's a lot of things going on here that we probably don't know about. Yeah. But I suspect, going after the Super 10 is a big part of it. But yeah, XLV 750. And remember, this is the early 90s. These things came in just some batshit crazy colors. I mean, Liza pulled up the red, white, and blue one, which was easily the most conventional. But I think for 94, they did the jungle paint scheme, which was like brown and green and gold and had giant palm leaves on the tank. It was just nuts.
Wow.
I think Honda they won the Dakar with that design of bike.
Yeah, they did. And I mean, obviously, it was a hugely modified bike, and that's something important for people to realize. It's the whole you win on Sunday, sell on Monday thing. It resembled the XLV 750, but an XLV 750 racer had nothing in common with the street version. Everything was lighter. Everything was just tuned to perfection. But it showed the strength of the platform, and it showed the commitment that Honda had to these bikes. My opinion, in the early 90s, it was by far the most handsome bike you could buy. They're amazing, but they were big. And even now, I saw one at a motorcycle museum recently on the trip I was on, and it takes your breath away, just the sheer real estate of them. They are a big bike. Even compared with the modern ones.
Well, especially with the big tank and that little fairing windshield stuff on the front.
And it's, and it's styled big as well. There's nothing subtle about the design of an XLV. It's like, it's a very, very purposeful bike.
Purpose built. Yeah.
But I remember them very, very fondly. And interestingly enough, they're very, very revered by collectors now. I mean, it's considered a very, very good bike.
When you're seeing the twin headlight coming back now and some new modern designs, right? The two round
Tiger
headlights.
has it.
Right, exactly.
Thank you, Emma, for that. I love
that was good. That was a good one.
I know, right? So, AJ, I want to ask you a couple things. First of all, by the time you were done with this trip and just reflecting on everything you learned, what was the biggest things that you learned and that helped you become a better rider through this? Well,
I certainly gained a lot of experience in riding in deep sand. And a lot of it was it is a pretty bad idea to roll off the throttle once you realize that you're in deep sand, because then you're transferring the weight forward, and then things get really weird.
Do you use the shake your butt method?
I don't know what that is.
Or the toe tapper, people call it too.
Yeah, toe tapper. Oh, we'll have to teach you that.
We got to come back next time.
Yeah, when you're riding in the sand, you shake your butt. Because doesn't that help find the balance?
Scott references rawhide a lot. So it's two things. Jocelyn says when you're up on the pegs in the sand, you shake your butt and it balances out the bike. They teach you rawhide. You tap the pegs back and forth. But basically just kind of wiggle your butt when you're up in the air, and it seems to help. But I tell you what, after riding through deep sand, everything else is easier, isn't it? You're like, oh, it's all easy now.
I mean, it must be, because our Icelandic guides were like, oh, we love riding in deep sand. I was like, you do? And
nobody does.
Absolutely. Like deep sand with dark rocks hidden in it. That's what we love to ride. And I was like, all right.
And Jim, you asked about food. I'm guessing you want to know what weird stuff he ate?
Not weird, but I mean, so I know it's a vacation destination, right? There, it's a touristy place. It looks beautiful. All the stories I hear are great, but how was the food? Like, what did you eat? What were some good stuff? What was the typical?
The food was amazing. I can't remember every meal that we had, but I did not share one bad meal. Primarily their source of protein is going to be either fish or sheep. That's what they primarily raise in Iceland.
Not bad.
Mutton.
I did have salmon smoked the traditional way. As we were eating it, we were told
a whale carcass.
Nope, it is smoked in sheep shit.
Oh no, really?
Wow.
So,
all right.
How
was it?
Glad I asked.
I'm not even a fan of salmon smoked anyway, but it really wasn't bad. It wasn't any worse or any bad than any other time I've had.
That's cool.
The food was absolutely amazing.
Did you get into a hot spring?
I did get into hot spring.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So, and I want to know, what is your next adventure? Once you do something like this,
Right.
like that's trip of a lifetime. It is for this year. What's next?
I asked a lot of questions. Well, what's next? I would really like to know if I'm going to get invited back.
You want to go back?
Oh, yeah. Not necessarily to Iceland.
Did they announce next year's location?
Well, it's every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So they had you fill out like an end questionnaire, and you could say, where would you like to ride? So
Ooh.
some of the people put South America. Some of the other people said other places. I personally put Mongolia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
wow.
Jim,
Out there.
you got any interest?
I mean, always. I mean,
So-
Utah's a little bit easier,
Dude.
but
I also
Wyoming maybe.
I asked them, is this going to be available for riders in North America? And they said, we're not sure what we're going to do. This was a litmus test for them.
Yeah.
And it was the first time they had that many riders. What they have figured out, they told me, is that it takes a lot of work to set the trip up. But once the trip and the routes are set, they might be able to run it multiple times. So they're not sure what they're going to do. They're not sure where it's going to be. They know that they're doing another one. They know it's going to be Africa Twins. They did allude to a model that's going to be produced that's going to be
Right.
the younger
Like the
sibling.
800.
So that stuff's out there. So where does my next adventure take place? Depends on what I learn from Honda Adventure Roads. While I was riding, I ended up almost day one. I started following like two guys, and I was like, "Oh, these guys are accelerating where I would accelerate, braking when I would brake. This seems pretty cool." So when we finally stopped, I was like, "Hey, I'm riding with you guys," because I don't know anyone.
Right.
And they're two German guys, and one of the German guys' name is Guido, and I was like, "All right." And he and I just
Okay.
Didn't see that one
Yeah,
coming.
neither did I.
was thinking like
So
Jingleheimer Schmidt or something.
He ended up being like, he and I rode like consistently day after day together, and I was like, this is really working out. This is cool. I ended up falling over in the sand, so he went ahead one day, and he was really grooving, and he grooved a little too much, and he grooved in deep sand, and he had a bad get off.
Oh.
So he didn't ride for 2 days, and then rode again at the end of the day, but he had to be very careful and not do too much off-road stuff. So he's thinking about doing a redemption ride back in Iceland, and I don't know. That could be very exciting. My trips that I have yet to do is ride my motorcycle to Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'd like to do
highly
that, too.
recommend it.
Yeah.
Jim, so here's what you need to do. You need to go to it's HondaAdventureRoads.com
yes.
and click on register your interest. That's it. Then
You know,
they
I'll
will
do that. Yeah,
inform
yeah.
you when it's happening and what to do. I think this is made for you.
You think it'll help if I attach a dick pic?
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely.
Well, wait a minute.
But somebody else.
Who's dick? Yeah, I know.
Henry's.
Henry, yeah.
Oh, groin check.
Henry's packing heat.
That's his new nickname.
Groin check.
I just want to
Groin
say.
check Henry.
So I just
He's
want
the most handsome guy around
No,
here.
no, no.
We call him handsome Henry.
I want to say something about Henry. So, as part of the training, I had to feel his chest to make sure he was breathing equally on both sides, because apparently that's the thing. And Henry is ripped.
I don't doubt that.
Oh my God!
He looks like a superhero.
There's no give on him at all.
Apparently, if you tickle the unconscious victim, they'll suddenly come to life.
Oh, that's the key.
that is the key.
He's also 25, so
no,
fuck him.
I think it was.
Nice.
I am absolutely convinced he was a Power Ranger without any doubt at all. Because
totally.
he is absolutely. There is no squishy bits on
That
him at all.
explains the yellow spandex.
There you go.
I could see him saving a kitten right now, actually.
No, I think he
All
probably
right.
would.
He's a great guy.
All right.
I love him.
We love Henry.
And for anyone else who's interested, if you're a Honda Africa Twin rider,
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it.
especially if you're in Europe, you have a better shot. You definitely should.
I'll do it.
When
I'll
I was
totally do
looking
it.
into this,
Sounds like
Jim,
so
I was
much
like,
fun.
this is up your alley. And to get that kind of training,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. Not have to be around those uppity ass BMW guys all day.
Right.
It's tough. It's tough.
I'm just kidding. Best training I ever got was from BMW. Personally.
Well, that sounds like a great tour. I really appreciate you sharing your story. And man, I can't believe your persistence got you in too, because again, none of us have heard of this.
And did you guys talk about how long he'd been riding?
Yeah. This is your first adventure bike.
Yeah.
It's his first dirt bike.
Yeah.
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 I know.
Like riding dirt anyway. Very
Yeah,
short
but he's
time.
ridden a 919
Oh,
for a
that's true.
decade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not
He was
an
all that-
inexperienced rider.
True.
It's all that training under the expert tutelage of Quarter at Mayride.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're a hardcore adventure rider, like some of our listeners, this is a trip for you. And if you're just a candy ass, want to sleep in a warm bed every night and ride some easy roads,
you can sign up for my Dolomites trip in 2013.
So Wiggins, we're trying to figure out which one you are, man. What trip are you going on? Because Chris has an adventure bike now. He's digging it.
Oh, really?
I totally want to hook up with him.
No, Chris is coming on the 2013 trip with me.
2023.
2020, 2013. We're going to get in a time machine. No, Chris is going to come on the 2023 trip.
Is he really?
He gets to be the big spoon.
Oh, wow. Emma, we had quite a few emails this past week of people who want to sign up for the trip.
Well, of course they do.
I mean, I'm talking about if we open up registration right now, I think it'd be sold out.
Oh, to another Europe trip?
Yeah, for next year.
Wow.
No, we're going to do another Dolomites trip for 2023. Give or take the same time frame, give or take the same budget. Just a brief reminder, this is 6 days of riding. It includes everything except booze, food, and your return flight. $2,500. What the hell do you get for $2,500?
So Emma,
that's huge.
I forwarded you all the emails.
Yes.
So hopefully you'll be saving those, sending out some communication. I know Kat already opened up a page that you can, I think, put a deposit down.
Right.
To save
Show
the spot.
interest.
But I mean, here's an example. I've got an email here from our friend Dean, and he says,
Hey, Dean.
put me down as a definite maybe for Emma's Alpine Wonderland 2.0. I like that name.
Alpine Wonderland.
He says, sadly wasn't able to swing the first one less than a year after paying for my wedding, but I should be able to make the second one as long as it's not full already. Back here in 2022, though, I'm looking down the barrel of splitting the cases on a bike for the first time. Was wondering if y'all have any advice. My Buell XB12 has started popping out of third gear momentarily when
Big
under load.
hammer. Big hammer.
Then violently catching again. Almost feels like an invisible hand is trying and failing to clutch up a wheelie. Some internet research reveals that other people have had similar symptoms, which turned out to be caused by a bent shift fork and or the dogs on the affected gear being rounded over from wear. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
So he says, unfortunately, there's no way to access all this without pulling the engine out of the bike and halfway apart. Seems like a good winter project, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to getting stuck into it. But any top tips for my first time doing such major surgery would be much appreciated.
The toppest tip I can give you, you already possess the greatest tool that I never had when I was learning, and that's your mobile phone.
Yeah.
Take as many pictures as you need to. Your mobile phone, if you've got a decent one, can hold 1,000 pictures plus easily. Take as many pictures as you need of each individual step. But the biggest tip, the biggest bonehead mistake for anybody who's working on their engine, clean your area. Designate a clean... You can have the filthiest garage in the world, but if you're pulling the engine, you make a scrupulously clean workbench for it. My workshops, I always have either Formica or stainless steel worktops, and I always clean them the same way. Whenever a job's done, I'll WD-40 them down and get them scrupulously clean. You need a clean area to work on that engine. Now look at poor AJ here. You know, when they were operating on him, can you imagine if they'd introduced dirt into his cavity?
So Emma, I'd like to add to that.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead, Bagel.
Yeah, I was also going to say, and also clean the engine before you even take it out of the bike.
Always
Clean
helps.
as good as you can, and then once you get it out of the bike, clean the other little areas that you couldn't get while it was in there. Get it as clean as possible before you start taking it apart.
So you're not introducing dirt into the build.
So my top tips, I have two. One, get a shelving unit. And then as you're dismantling it, you have shelves you can go in order and lay stuff out. Two, I like the cardboard trick, especially for somebody that's first time doing this.
Right.
Every cover you're taking off, you can draw a picture of the cover and poke holes in there in the exact position the bolts are in. Shove the bolts in there, and then left case cover, top, bottom. Set that on your shelf. I think that's an
awesome
trick.
trick.
Sometimes the bolts are different lengths but fit in the same holes. So that's
that's a great trick.
And, you know, just things like camshaft timing. Understand, because you've got 4 cams in that bad boy. So understand what cam timing is. Understand how it works, which cam is which, mark them. You can take a camshaft out, clean it, and write on it anywhere with a Sharpie. Rear intake, front intake, front exhaust. Write on the components themselves with a Sharpie. Put them in a sandwich bag. Keep them clean till you are ready to assemble them.
And then the other trick, if you don't want to use cardboard, if you want to leave bolts in the cases you're removing, put some masking tape around them to keep them in.
And here's an Emma top tip. I believe he's a newlywed.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky, you'll probably be able to build it on the kitchen table.
Good one. Well, what's your name? John.
Yeah. That is John. We can call him Jim, though. Jimmy! Read that email, Jimmy.
Jim. No, that doesn't sound right.
Jimmy John.
All right. What you got there?
This is from Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
Patty
Patrick.
from New Jersey. I think
Patty.
he's
We
our
know
friend.
Patty,
Yeah, we know Patty, yeah. Hey, Patty, how are you? It's interesting that right after hearing your cast about being an action-forward motorcyclist, I've been wondering how I can be a better steward of our passion. I'm an AMA.
Yeah, this is in responding to the New York checkpoints.
Yeah.
I'm an AMA member, and I still feel like I can do better. I've received an email from the MTA and NYC as a New Jersey Easy Pass member for my thoughts on the congestion of pricing proposal. I signed up to receive information, left a polite but poignant message about if congestion is being addressed, motorcycles are helpful and not charged in other cities for this sort of pricing. This sparked a bit of hope to be more hopeful, and I'm looking forward to finding more and local ways to better our passion. Vintage Motorcycle Days this year was awesome, and I loved having being there with all of you. And stay safe, Dingles.
Hey, Patty, thanks for using your voice. That is important. For those who don't remember the congestion pricing, they're looking to charge people a toll to get into Manhattan, about $26 per vehicle, and motorcycles will not be exempt from a tax for congestion, which motorcycles are not part of the problem.
Right.
And that's going to severely impair people who commute. So that sucks. Bagel.
Yes.
You got one there?
I do. I have an email from Tim Brand.
Hello,
And-
Tim Brand.
Hi, Tim.
Hold on,
writes,
this is going to get good.
Hi, Misfits. This is Tim from Costa Rica. Tim's from America, right?
I'm not sure. What's a Costa Rican accent sound like?
Well,
Bagel?
I seem to recall that Tim is an American expat living in Costa Rica. So I'm
damn
going to read it in American accent.
That's probably the safest way to do it.
Yeah.
Tim writes, I've been listening to you guys for a couple of years now while I work cleaning and maintaining boats here in the marina.
Cool.
Nice.
You guys have inspired me to start working on my bikes. I've really went full on and got all the tools and attack absolutely any repair needed. Fork rebuilds, brake calipers, valve adjustments, just about anything now. With that said, I have been quite lost down a rabbit hole of clutch issues lately that nobody seems to be able to help with. When I ask specific clutch questions on the forums, it's like asking about black magic. Crickets chirping and silence ensues. Anyway, it seems nobody really understands clutch systems apart from true mechanics. And it dawned on me last week, maybe Miss Emma could tell me why.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a clutch problem.
Thing. I have two opposite issues that are driving me nuts.
Okay.
Clutch drag and clutch slippage.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
So first, on my 990 Super Duke, due to terrible previous owner maintenance, I've replaced the entire clutch pack, including the inner basket that was notched, installed a new Oberon-style slave cylinder, push rod, and bearing incorrectly, and bled the heck out of the system numerous times, and the clutch still drags and is hard to shift, if not impossible sometimes. Everything has been installed by the book, basket torqued down, springs torqued, etc. Should I look at rebuilding the master cylinder? What in the world causes the drag? Emma, do you want to take this one first?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Is it the ball bearing?
drag can be caused by a number of things. I mean, drag can be caused by warped steel plates. Can be caused by a notch clutch basket. I don't think it is that in this case, because he's already replaced them.
Ooh, but I've heard of sometimes people miss that last plate in the back. No, and then they have one extra plate in there. You know, all the plates come out, but sometimes there's one held back in.
I mean,
when
it
when you
may
rebuild
be-
it, there's
no,
an extra
we-
plate.
I've never heard that happen before.
I don't think it's that in this case.
Okay.
KTM, has that got a Magura? No, it's got a conventional. It might be that the master cylinder's just simply not pushing enough fluid. I tell you what is an absolute devil on KTMs is people put these adjustable span levers on them, and you should never do that on a KTM because you don't get enough pull on it.
Oh, wow.
If you
So it
have
could
an
be his
adjustable
levers.
span lever, put it out to number 6 or push it as far away as you can so you get that pull. But I think for the cost of a kit, which is only about $25, start there and assume
rebuild the master
nothing.
cylinder?
Yeah. Rebuild the master cylinder, but assume nothing. A lot of times, I've bought brand new clutch kits, and the steels are so warped that I've ended up using the old steels.
Wow. And the new steels
way,
will work?
and the way to check your steels is you need a
Jeez.
piece of glass. So go into your mum's bedroom and take down the best mirror in the house, and then put your steel clutch plate on it, and then stick a feeler gauge all the way around it, and make sure it is absolutely flat. And if you use a mirror, you can tell because you can see if it's sitting proud. You've got to do things like that. Check the steels and make sure they're completely flat.
Emma,
Yes.
never tell someone to use their mom's mirror. You just use your Coke mirror.
Oh yeah. Well,
Well, the same thing. A lot
If
of
it's
time.
already sitting there.
Depends on your mom, yeah. I
if
guess.
it's big enough, you know.
My mom likes her Coke.
But yeah, assume nothing. You've got to make sure that the clutch itself is bolted down. Look for free play in the clutch. Take all the plates out, grab the clutch center, what I call the clutch spider, and try and pull it backwards and forwards. Because you've got to make sure that when you get that throw on the master cylinder, it's pushing the clutch away as much as you can. It sounds to me like a master cylinder problem.
I know my 990. My clutch is weird when the bike is cold. I'll release the clutch and it'll suddenly grab and kind of be jerky. But as soon as it warms up, it's fine.
He's got something else going on. It's dragging. So there's something going wrong.
Okay.
Double check, pull the clutch apart, double check, make sure. If you've got upgraded components, I hate to say it, go back to stock components. If you've got a problem, always go back to stock specification springs, always go back to stock specification plates. And then if the problem goes away, then introduce each item. Because, I'm going to get this upgraded clutch, and you get plates, you get springs, you get everything, and you put it in, the clutch doesn't work. And you're like, oh, bloody hell. So we need to figure out whether it's the springs that are too heavy to overcome the hydraulic pressure, whether it's the plates themselves. So if you've still got the original components, go back to the original components, see if the problem goes away, and then introduce the new upgraded components until the problem manifests itself, and then you're like, that's what it is.
Yeah, one modification at a time.
Yeah.
Emma?
And-
go ahead, Bagel.
Well, did you? He's got a second question too.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
Shall I continue? Okay. So, issue number 2. On my 690 Enduro, due to a novice misdiagnosis, I've also installed an entire new clutch, a new slave cylinder, which broke inside and was the real problem, and rebuilt the master cylinder. The clutch engagement is now at the very end of the lever, no matter how you adjust the lever. And such a short engagement, it's almost impossible to modulate it in technical terrain, and out on the street at very high RPM and traction, it seems to slip a bit. What in the world could be causing this? It's driving me crazy, and I've lost a bit of confidence. There's only so many times I can reopen the clutch and bleed the slave. I've ran out of things to check or replace, not to mention patience. Thanks in advance, and if you could recommend any online basic maintenance courses or videos, that would be great. I'd like to become more competent. Thanks for the great shows, Tim.
And I just want to say, Tim, you have excellent taste in motorcycles. So on that one, is that the ball bearing? Is there a ball bearing on the rod?
690 Enduro.
So here's what I want you to do. Is I want you to take the slave off. It's held on by 3 M6 screws, and I want you to pack behind each of the screws between the slave cylinder and the engine. Put 3 or 4 washers on there. So basically you're pulling the slave away from the engine. Now make sure you don't allow the O-ring to go, because you'll lose all your oil. And I think you'll get your clutch action back. Ooh. And again, it's upgraded components. You got to be careful with these things. Either your push rod's too long, or your slave, there's something going on, or there's something still in there that shouldn't be.
Amazing.
Or could he take your advice from the previous issue and go back to the stock components that he'd swapped out before?
Yes.
Because if it was just the slave cylinder that was the issue that was broken.
Yeah, a lot of these slave cylinder manufacturers, cylinders are quite expensive to make, so they'll make one that fits a variety of bikes, in that case with that Rotax engine. And it might not be suitable for the clutch pack. Just try, there's something going on there, either the push rod's too long or the internal. When you look at a slave and you take a slave off, you've got the piston, and then there's a recess in the piston. And I think you'll find that's not deep enough. And, I'd take the piston out and I'd get it on a bench press and I'd drill the recess a bit more, but that ain't for the faint of heart.
Miss Emma, maybe talking out of school, could he have the wrong number of steels or friction plates in there?
Maybe. I mean, it's a throw problem. Okay. It's either the push rod is too long, or the recess in the slave cylinder, or he's got too many ball bearings, something like that. Because I don't think there's an adjustment in the center of that clutch. If there is, you can just back that off. But if it's biting right at the very, very end and it's slipping, there's something that's stopping it compressing completely. And I'm guessing it's the push rod.
And as for, he said, if there's any online training, YouTube is the place. I changed the oil on my Africa Twin today. I found a great video by Rocky Mountain ADV. Watched it. Easy. It was very quick and easy.
Too. That's a good one.
Rocky Mountain's good.
So that's the best place to go. So Emma, let's save. You have one email there. Let's save that till next week.
Yeah, we'll do.
Because that one could turn into a big topic.
It's an interesting topic.
It's about engine swapping, and that I think could be a whole thing. To talk about.
It's a long question with a very, very quick answer.
Oh well, I want to save that.
Yeah.
I have an update from our friend Yuri Berrigan, who's over at Isle of Man. He's been sending me some pretty cool photos of him pulling wheelies and stuff.
And getting big air.
Player.
Yeah, player.
So he sent me an update, and he says,
"Oh, cool.
Motor blew up on first lap of the main event." He's been there doing the practice runs all week.
Well, all year he's been qualifying and doing all the things to do it.
And this is the life of a racer.
Yeah, motorcycles.
Yeah. Wow.
Motorbikes.
Cool
my heart goes out to you, Yuri.
Yeah, man, that's tough.
You're the man.
He's the man. Yuri is cool, dude.
Yeah. So I'm sorry about that, dude. But
that stinks.
At least it looks like you got a lot of laps in this year. I know in the past the practice sessions have been rained out, but it looks like it's been pretty good. So I'm glad you at least got your time on the bike. We have T-shirts for sale, motorcyclesandmisfits.com. You go to shop, and I got all different sizes available there. And And I think that's it. Big thanks to everyone who's sending in all these emails. Keep them coming, because I'm only here for another week, and then all these fools have got to fill this podcast for a couple weeks. So if you have some good topic ideas or good questions, or tell me why,
Yeah, I missed
for Miss Emma, send them on in. But big thank you to AJ for coming in and sharing that story. Dude, that is
It's
awesome
gnarly.
trip.
That's motorcycle shit.
That is motorcycle shit,
Motorcycle
especially the
shit.
crash beforehand, the all the stuff, all the scars you have, and I'm still going. That's real biker shit.
I
right
think I
there.
got. Go ahead. Emma.
Yeah.
Make no mistake, his arm looks like chopped liver.
Yeah.
This is big
Something
injury.
happened.
Yeah.
I think I might, if it's okay, I might use you as my Halloween costume this year. Gear on, have some tubes come, maybe a colostomy bag hanging off.
I'll send you the picture that I took.
No, I'm good.
The tube's coming out.
Colostomy, it's not my bag, baby. Yeah.
Groovy.
Yeah, so thank you for coming out and sharing your story in person, because it's something I didn't even know about. Honda, they just keep sneaking up with all these pretty amazing stuff. Go to HondaAdventureRoads.com if you want to check it out, or you want to watch these videos that are really, really well produced.
Well, you don't see a lot. Well, they're out there like a lot. But you don't see a lot of Africa Twin, videos out there. Some of the guys doing crazy stuff and jumping on rocks, but like the BDR stuff, they do such a good job with BMWs. You see a lot of those, which is really cool. So it'll be fun to see Africa Twins.
Maybe we can get you two to go on a ride, Jim, because why don't you tell him what you've got?
Because he's in New York.
Well, tell him what you've been planning to do.
What? Oh, the California BDR.
No, the Transamerica, I thought.
Oh, Transamerica Trail. Yeah, that's a bigger trip though. That's
Transamerica Trail.
like a 5 to 6 week trip.
You want to do that on Africa Twins?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally do on Africa Twin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here
All
we
right,
go.
we'll be in touch.
See? I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I just have to pencil it in. It's only a month or so. 6 weeks.
Maybe you guys
sabbatical.
can start at both ends and meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, no,
finish.
the reality is somebody's got to start at one end, and then you can.
Yeah, the TAT is probably not in my future for a while because you got to take 6 weeks or something like
Yeah,
that.
I
from
gotta
what
read
I
it.
read.
Where does it start and where does it finish?
Oregon and
to-
maybe North Carolina.
Yeah.
I think they extended it because it used to end in Tellico Plains, Tennessee, and I think
Okay.
they extended it a little bit further.
Okay, so Tennessee-ish.
Yep.
Well, it's just where we ride annually anyway, so if you want to paddle in on the May ride, we'd love to have
All
you.
right, cool. Something to think about.
But we found some of your people, Jim.
Yeah, it's great. Hey, woohoo.
Dude,
There's
crazy.
across the country. Story of my life.
I know.
Nice.
So thank you, and especially thanks to all of our listeners for hanging with us here, and of course to our Patreon subscribers. We love you the most.
We love all our listeners the most, Liza.
Yes,
But we love our Patreon subscribers a little
bit
mostier. A little moster.
All right, so we're about to get out of here. It's really easy. I know, Anthony, you've been so quiet. I hope you enjoyed
I'm
this.
glad I could contribute and offer all that information.
Was this at least interesting to you?
Yes, very interesting. Very
This
interesting.
is
Never
your-
was on a podcast before either. So it's cool.
Nice. Well, okay. Thanks, everyone. I think it's time to get out of here. This is Liza.
Stumpy John.
Emma, darling.
AJ.
Scott.
Naked Jim, son.
And Anthony.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.
Cool.